My parents gave my brother a key to my cabin because married couples need it more than single people. Update. Found renovation plans and Mr. and Mrs. Pillows in my house. Hi everyone. Today's story will blow your mind, but really quick, if you enjoy this content, hit that subscribe button. Channel's been a bit quiet lately, and your support keeps it all going. Let's jump in. Original post, posted to r/relationships. I, 33M, need some perspective on this situation with my family because I'm starting to question if I'm being unreasonable. 3 years ago, I bought a small cabin in the mountains about 2 hours from where I live. It's nothing fancy, just a 2-bedroom A-frame on 3 acres near a lake. I'd been saving for it since I was 25, working overtime and living below my means because having a retreat in nature has always been my dream. The place needed a lot of work when I bought it, and I've spent every free weekend for the past 3 years fixing it up myself. New roof, rebuilt deck, completely renovated kitchen, the works. My parents, 61M, 59F, were supportive when I bought it, though they made some comments about it being a lot of property for a single person. I brushed it off because they've always been a bit traditional about life milestones. My younger brother Kevin, 26M, thought it was cool and has visited a few times with friends. Here's where it gets complicated. Kevin got engaged 6 months ago to Amanda, 24F. They're planning a May wedding, and everyone's excited. I genuinely like Amanda. She's smart, funny, and makes my brother happy. Last Sunday, we had our monthly family dinner at my parents' house. Everything was normal until my mom brought up Kevin and Amanda's honeymoon plans. Apparently, they're on a tight budget after paying for the wedding. That's when my dad said, "Well, James has that beautiful cabin just sitting there most of the time. Perfect for a romantic honeymoon." I agreed immediately. Of course they could use it for their honeymoon. I'd deep clean it, stock the fridge, make sure everything was perfect for them. Kevin seemed grateful, Amanda was excited, problem solved. But then my mom said something that made my stomach drop. Actually, this could work out perfectly for everyone. Kevin and Amanda will need romantic getaways as newlyweds, and James, honey, you don't really need a romantic retreat when you're single. Maybe they could use it regularly, like once a month. I sat there stunned while my dad nodded enthusiastically. Makes sense. Young married couples need that private time to build their relationship. James, you mostly go there alone anyway to fish and hike. You could still do that when they're not using it. I tried to explain that I use the cabin at least twice a month, sometimes more. That it's my personal retreat where I decompress from my high-stress job in finance. That I've literally built parts of it with my own hands. But my mom waved this away, saying I was being selfish and should want to support Kevin's marriage. Kevin, to his credit, looked uncomfortable and said they didn't need to use it that often. But Amanda had already pulled out her phone and was looking at the photos I'd posted of the recent deck renovation, talking about how perfect the master bedroom would be for romantic weekends, and how the fire pit I built would be amazing for couple stargazing. The conversation moved on, but the expectation had been set. My parents kept making comments about how generous I was being and how nice it would be for Kevin and Amanda to have a marriage retreat. They even suggested I could leave some weekends permanently blocked off for them in a shared calendar. I left early, claiming I had work to prepare for Monday. Kevin texted me later saying he was sorry about our parents being pushy and that he'd talk to them. But then Amanda added me to a Pinterest board called Mountain Cabin Honeymoon, where she's already pinning decor ideas. I'm not against them using it for their honeymoon, I already offered that. But this expectation that my personal retreat should become their regular romantic getaway spot makes me feel like my space and needs don't matter because I'm single. I've worked so hard for this place. It's my sanctuary. Am I being unreasonable? Should single people step aside for married couples' needs? I want to support my brother, but this feels like too much. Edit. To clarify some questions, I'm not currently in a relationship, but I do date. I've brought a few girlfriends to the cabin over the years. Also, yes, I have a successful career and make good money, but that doesn't mean I should just hand over access to something I worked years to afford. Edit 2. The cabin is fully in my name, purchased with my money. I pay all maintenance, utilities, and property taxes. Kevin and Amanda both work but are saving for a house. My parents are comfortable but not wealthy enough to help them financially. Update 1. Posted 3 weeks later. I wasn't planning to update so soon, but things have escalated in a way I didn't expect, and I need to vent. First, thank you to everyone who responded to my original post. Your comments helped me realize I wasn't being unreasonable and gave me the confidence to set boundaries. The most helpful advice was to clearly communicate those boundaries in writing. After my post, I sent a group text to my family clarifying the situation. Kevin and Amanda were welcome to use the cabin for their honeymoon week in May. After that, they could request to use it like any other family members, with advance notice. The cabin would remain my private property and primary retreat. I needed at least 2 weekends per month reserved for my own use. Kevin responded immediately, saying that was more than fair and thanking me again. Amanda sent a thumbs-up emoji. My parents didn't respond to the text, which should have been my first warning. Last weekend, my mom called asking if I could come help Kevin with some wedding planning stuff. I drove over to their house, expecting to review venue contracts or something similar. Instead, I walked into what can only be described as an ambush. My parents, Kevin, and Amanda were all sitting in the living room with laptops open. On the coffee table were printed floor plans of my cabin. I have no idea how they got these, color swatches, and what looked like contractor estimates. My mom started cheerfully, "We thought it would be nice to surprise you. Since Kevin and Amanda will be using the cabin regularly, we wanted to help make it more couple-friendly. Amanda has such wonderful ideas." Amanda jumped in excitedly, laptop turned toward me. "I've been working on this for weeks. So, the second bedroom, we don't really need it since it'll just be us. I thought we could knock down that wall and create a luxury master suite with a jacuzzi tub. And the deck you built is gorgeous, but it needs a privacy screen for, intimate moments. Oh, and I found the most amazing bedroom furniture set that would completely transform the space." I stared at them in disbelief. She had a whole PowerPoint presentation. PowerPoint. With slides titled Our Mountain Love Nest Transformation and Creating Romantic Spaces. There were furniture selections, paint colors, even landscaping plans to add more romantic elements, like a garden gazebo and outdoor shower. "These are just ideas," Kevin said quickly, clearly seeing my face. "We thought maybe we could all chip in for improvements that everyone would enjoy." "Everyone?" I asked. "Who is everyone? It's my cabin." My dad cleared his throat. "James, be reasonable. These improvements would increase the property value. Kevin and Amanda are offering to contribute their time and some money. Your mother and I would help too. It's a win-win. Plus," my mom added, "some of your decorating choices are a bit bachelor pad. The mounted fish. The vintage beer sign collection. Amanda's ideas would make it more sophisticated." Amanda nodded enthusiastically. "I've already reached out to contractors for quotes. If we start now, we could have Phase 1 done by the honeymoon." Phase 1. Phase 1. I took a deep breath and said as calmly as I could, "I appreciate the thought, but I'm not renovating my cabin. I like it exactly how it is." The room went quiet. Then my mom sighed dramatically. "James, I don't understand why you're being so difficult. Don't you want Kevin and Amanda to feel comfortable?" "They're welcome to feel comfortable in it as it is when they visit for their honeymoon," I said. "But I'm not redesigning my personal space for someone else's romantic preferences." Amanda's face fell. "But I already told my Instagram followers about our mountain retreat renovation project. I even started a highlight reel." Instagram. Followers. Highlight reel. About MY cabin. "You're what?" I asked. She showed me her phone. She has 8,000 followers and has been posting stories about renovating our honeymoon cabin in the mountains. The comments were full of her friends saying how lucky she was to have a second home and asking if they could visit. "Amanda," I said, trying to stay calm, "that's my cabin. Not our anything. You can't post about renovating property you don't own." Kevin finally spoke up, "Amanda, maybe we should take the posts down. James is right, it's his place." But my parents weren't done. My dad launched into a speech about family supporting family, about how, in his day, family shared everything, about how my selfishness was typical of my generation. My mom added that she'd already told her book club about the family cabin, and how wonderful it was that I was sharing it with the newlyweds. Her friend Margaret's son apparently shares a beach house with his married sister, and it works perfectly because he understands that married couples need priority. I stood up to leave. The offer for the honeymoon week stands. Nothing else is changing. Please don't make any more plans for my property. As I was walking out, I heard Amanda whisper to Kevin, "I don't understand. It's going to be empty most of the time anyway. We'd be doing him a favor by making it nicer." Kevin texted me that night, "I'm sorry about today." Amanda got excited and my parents encouraged her. "I'll talk to them." But here's the thing, I checked Amanda's Instagram, and the posts are still up. In fact, she posted a new story after I left, showing paint swatches with the caption, "Delayed but not defeated." #cabin renovation, #mountain retreat, #newlywed nest. I also got a text from my cousin asking when the family cabin would be available because my aunt told her I was opening it up for family use. I'm exhausted. I never thought setting a simple boundary would spiral into this. I love my brother, but I'm starting to resent this whole situation. The wedding is still 2 months away, and I'm dreading what else might come up. I'm seriously considering just telling them they can't use it for the honeymoon at all, but I know that would cause a nuclear-level family explosion. Am I wrong to be this frustrated? Update 2, posted 2 months later. A lot has happened since my last update, and I need to get this off my chest. After the renovation ambush, I thought things would calm down once I set clear boundaries. I was wrong. The text started a few days later. First from my mom, James, I hope you've reconsidered. Amanda is so disappointed. Then from my dad, your brother only gets married once. Try to be supportive. I held firm and replied that my decision was final. The cabin would be available for their honeymoon week only, no renovations, no regular schedule after that. Kevin texted saying he understood and would handle Amanda's expectations. But Amanda had other plans. 2 weeks after the ambush, I drove up to the cabin for a weekend retreat. I needed the peace after dealing with family drama. When I arrived, I noticed something was off immediately. There were tire tracks in my driveway that weren't mine, and a small pile of cigarette butts near the fire pit. I don't smoke. Inside, nothing was stolen or damaged, but things were different. My fishing gear had been moved to the closet. The vintage beer signs I had in the living room were stacked in the corner. New throw pillows were on the couch, bright pink and white with Mr. and Mrs. embroidered on them. The refrigerator had a bottle of champagne with a note, "For our romantic evenings. A&K." I found a folder on the kitchen counter labeled Cabin Renovation Plans, Phase 1. Inside were the same contractor estimates from the ambush meeting, fabric samples, and a note in Amanda's handwriting, "Just leaving these here for you to review at your leisure." Smiling face with smiling eyes. I was furious. They had been in my cabin without permission. I immediately called Kevin. "Hey James," he answered cheerfully. "Did you get our surprise? Amanda wanted to show you how the new pillows would look." "Kevin, did you go to my cabin without asking?" Silence. Then, Mom gave us her key. She said you wouldn't mind if we just looked around. My mom had a key that she gave to them without telling me. "What key?" I asked, though I was already putting it together. I'd given my parents an emergency key years ago in case something happened while I was traveling for work. "The spare key she's had?" "She said you knew we were coming up to take measurements." "Measurements for what, Kevin?" I said no renovations. He got defensive. "We weren't renovating. Amanda just wanted to see the space properly to understand why you're so attached to it. She thought if she could show you how minimal the changes would be dash." I hung up. Then I called a locksmith and scheduled them for the next morning. That evening, the family group chat exploded. My mom had discovered I'd changed the locks when she tried to drop off some fresh linens for Kevin and Amanda's honeymoon. The messages came fast. "Mom, James, this is ridiculous. How could you change the locks on family?" "Dad, your mother just wanted to help prepare for the honeymoon. You're overreacting." "Amanda, I'm heartbroken. I thought we were becoming family. I was just trying to help improve your investment." The only message from Kevin, "Can we talk?" I didn't respond to any of them. Instead, I spent the weekend installing security cameras and a smart lock system that tracks every entry. The wedding came and went. I attended, smiled for photos, gave a pleasant toast about Kevin finding happiness. I didn't mention the cabin drama. Amanda kept trying to corner me at the reception to clear the air, but I politely avoided being alone with her. 2 days before their honeymoon, I sent Kevin the new door code and instructions for the cabin. I reminded him it was for 1 week only and that the security system would log all entries. He thanked me and promised they'd respect my property. They went on their honeymoon. Based on the entry logs, they stayed the full week. When I went up the following weekend to check on things, I found they'd left it reasonably clean. The throw pillows were gone, my beer signs were back on the wall. But there were small signs of their improvements: new bath mats, essential oil diffuser in the bedroom, a framed photo of them on my mantle with a note, "Thanks for the memories. Hope this stays here always. A&K." I thought that would be the end of it. The honeymoon was over, boundaries were set, life could go back to normal. I was naive. Final update, posted 4 months after the wedding. This will be my last update because I've reached a resolution, though not the one I expected. After Kevin and Amanda's honeymoon, things were quiet for about a month. They posted photos from the cabin on social media, of course, with Amanda writing long captions about their mountain retreat and romantic getaway haven. I ignored it, hoping their interest would fade. Then the requests started. First, Kevin texted asking if they could use the cabin for their 1-month anniversary. Just one night, to recreate our honeymoon magic. I said no, I had plans to be there. 2 weeks later, Amanda messaged me directly. She wanted to use the cabin for a couples retreat weekend with 3 other newlywed couples from their friend group. We'd take such good care of it. And think of all the love and positive energy filling your space. No. Then came my mom's birthday. She announced at her party that her dream gift would be a weekend at the family cabin with her book club ladies. James never uses it anyway, she told everyone, while I was standing right there. I publicly reminded her it wasn't a family cabin and wasn't available. The looks I got from her friends made me feel like I'd kicked a puppy. The breaking point came 3 weeks ago. My parents invited me for dinner, just the 4 of us, them, me, and Kevin. Amanda was supposedly at a girls' night. I should have known it was another ambush. After dinner, my dad pulled out a manila folder. James, we need to have a serious discussion about the cabin. Inside were legal documents. Actual legal documents. Kevin and Amanda have been looking at houses, my mom explained, but the market is crazy right now. Everything in their budget needs too much work. Okay, I said, not seeing where this was going. My dad continued, we've been thinking. You have a successful career, a nice apartment in the city. You don't need a second property. Kevin and Amanda are just starting out. What if you sold them the cabin at a family discount? They could pay you back over time. I stared at them. You want me to sell my cabin to Kevin and Amanda? Not sell, my mom said quickly. Transfer. Within family. We could work out a payment plan that's fair for everyone. Or, she paused, you could consider it an early wedding gift. Think of the tax benefits. Kevin hadn't said a word, just stared at his plate. Kevin, I asked, is this what you want? He finally looked up. Amanda loves that cabin, man. She's been depressed since the honeymoon ended. She keeps talking about how perfect it would be to start our family there. And Mom and Dad said you'd understand, since you're not even dating anyone seriously. There it was. The crux of everything. Because I'm single, my property, my dreams, my hard work, none of it matters as much as a married couple's wants. The answer is no, I said quietly. And if you bring this up again, the answer will still be no. My dad slammed his hand on the table. This is exactly your problem, James. You're 33 years old with no wife, no kids, no real family of your own. That cabin is wasted on you. At least Kevin and Amanda would fill it with love and laughter and grandchildren. Get out, I said. What? My mom gasped. This is my house. Get out. All of you. They left, my mom crying about how I was tearing the family apart over stupid property. Kevin texted me later, I'm sorry. I didn't know they were going to bring papers. Amanda's been in my ear about the cabin every day. She's convinced it's meant to be ours. I should have shut it down. I didn't reply. Last week, I made a decision. I listed the cabin for sale. Not to family. Not at a discount. Full market price with a real estate agent. It's already had multiple offers. Turns out, a fully renovated mountain cabin with lake access is highly desirable. Who knew? The family explosion was immediate and nuclear. Mom called sobbing, begging me not to throw away our family memories. Dad sent a long email about disappointment and selfishness. Amanda made a public Facebook post about how some people don't understand the value of family and keeping properties where they belong. She actually started a GoFundMe to save the family cabin with a goal of $50,000. It has raised $127, all from her mother. Kevin came to my apartment 2 nights ago. Alone, for once. Are you really selling it? He asked. Yes. Because of us. Because I'm tired of defending my right to own something I worked for. Because I'm sick of being told my life has less value because I'm single. Because I don't want to spend every holiday and family gathering fighting about this. He was quiet for a long time. Then, Amanda's talking about boycotting Christmas if you sell to strangers. That's her choice. James, I'm sorry. I let this get out of hand. I should have stood up to her and our parents. The cabin is yours. You earned it. I know, I said. But I don't want it anymore. Not like this. It's tainted now. Every time I go there, I'll think about this mess. I'd rather start fresh somewhere else. Somewhere no one has a key or an opinion about. He left after that. We haven't spoken since. The sale closes next month. I've already put an offer on a different property 3 states away. Smaller, needs more work, but it's mine and only mine. No one in my family even knows what state it's in. I'm sure I'll be painted as the villain in this story forever. The selfish older brother who sold the family cabin out of spite. The single guy who couldn't share with the married couple. The son who chose property over family. But I've learned something valuable. Sometimes the price of keeping the peace is too high. Sometimes family becomes a weapon used to guilt you into giving up what you've earned. And sometimes the only way to win is to walk away. I still love my brother. I hope he figures out how to stand up to Amanda before she decides their starter home should be someone else's dream house. I'll probably reconcile with my parents eventually, once the dust settles. But I'll never again give them a key to anything I own. To everyone who told me to stand my ground, thank you. I did, just not in the way I expected. Sometimes the best boundary is distance. And to any single people out there being told their achievements matter less because they don't have a romantic partner, your dreams are just as valid. Your hard work is just as valuable. Your life is just as complete. Now if you'll excuse me, I have a new cabin to renovate. Alone. Exactly how I want it. Edit. Since people are asking, yes, the cousin who wanted to use the family cabin has already reached out to the new buyers on Facebook asking about rental rates. The buyers forwarded me the message, very confused. I told them my family has no claim to the property. The cousin is now also boycotting Christmas. Edit 2. Amanda's GoFundMe has been reported and taken down for fraud after she updated it to claim the cabin was promised to them. Kevin texted me apologizing for that too. I didn't respond. Edit 3. No, I won't share the location of the new cabin. Nice try, Mom.